Most people live as if tomorrow will magically fix everything. They scroll, wait, and hope, while the days quietly disappear. But here's the truth: life doesn't wait for anyone. Every choice, every habit, every small decision you make, or ignore, shapes the person you'll become. The secret isn't doing something big once in a while. It's about the daily actions that compound over time. The routines, the mindset, the way you spend your hours, these are the things that decide your future, even if you don't notice them right now. If you're going to skip this video, pause for a second and think, are your days building the life you actually want, or are they just passing by? Well, let's find out. Lesson 1: Accept that nothing stays forever. Everything in life moves. Situations change, people grow, opportunities appear and disappear, and even your own thoughts and emotions evolve over time. When you expect things to stay the same forever, every change feels like a loss. But when you understand that change is normal, you stop being shocked by it. You become mentally prepared instead of emotionally broken. Accepting impermanence helps you release the need to control everything. You stop forcing people to stay, forcing moments to last, or forcing life to follow your exact plan. Instead, you learn to adapt. Adaptation is a form of strength because it allows you to keep moving forward no matter what happens. This mindset also makes you appreciate what you have right now. You become more present. You listen more carefully, you notice more details, and you value experiences while they exist instead of realizing their importance after they are gone. Gratitude grows naturally when you understand that nothing is guaranteed. Most importantly, accepting that nothing stays forever makes hard times easier to survive. Pain, failure, and difficult periods are temporary. They feel permanent in the moment, but they pass. Remembering this gives you patience and emotional endurance. It reminds you that better moments can still come, and that no situation defines your entire life. When you truly accept change, you stop fearing it, and you start using it to grow. Lesson 2: Know yourself before chasing anything. Most people move through life reacting instead of choosing. They follow paths that seem normal, safe, or approved by others. They chase goals because they see everyone else chasing them. Over time, they become busy, but not fulfilled. They achieve things, but still feel disconnected, because those goals were never truly theirs. Without self-understanding, it is easy to build a life that looks right from the outside but feels empty on the inside. Knowing yourself means understanding what truly matters to you, not what others expect from you. It means recognizing what gives you energy and what drains it. It means being honest about your strengths, your weaknesses, and the kind of life you actually want to live. This awareness becomes your internal direction. Without it, you depend on external direction, and that often leads you away from your real path. When you understand yourself, your decisions become clearer. You stop saying yes to everything. You stop wasting time on things that do not align with your priorities. You begin protecting your time and energy because you know they are limited. This allows you to focus on what truly moves your life forward instead of constantly reacting to distractions. Self-knowledge also protects you from comparison. When you do not know yourself, you measure your life against others. You feel behind, even if you are on the right path for yourself. But when you know who you are, comparison loses its power. You understand that your timeline and your direction are unique. This gives you peace and confidence in your choices. Understanding yourself is not something that happens once. It is a continuous process. Your experiences, challenges, and growth reveal new parts of who you are. The more attention you give to your thoughts, your reactions, and your patterns, the more awareness you gain. This awareness allows you to correct your direction before you waste years moving towards something that does not belong to you. A strong life is built on self-awareness. When you know yourself, you stop chasing everything, and you start choosing what truly matters. Lesson 3. Take responsibility for your life. Blaming circumstances, other people, or bad timing may feel natural, but it quietly removes your power. When you believe everything is controlled by external forces, you stop trying to change anything. You begin to wait instead of act. This creates a passive mindset where life happens to you instead of being shaped by you. Over time, this leads to frustration, because nothing improves while you remain in that state. Taking responsibility changes that immediately. It shifts your focus from what you cannot control to what you can control. You may not control every event, but you always control your decisions, your effort, and your response. This mindset gives you back ownership of your direction. Instead of waiting for better conditions, you begin creating better conditions through your actions. Responsibility also builds strength. When you accept that your progress depends on you, you become more disciplined. You stop making excuses because excuses no longer serve you. You begin using your time more carefully, making decisions more intentionally, and correcting your mistakes faster. Each time you take responsibility, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of changing your situation. This mindset also builds confidence. Confidence does not come from comfort. It comes from proving to yourself that you can handle difficulties and still move forward. Every time you face a problem and take action instead of avoiding it, you strengthen your sense of control. Over time, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances and start feeling like the creator of your life. Taking responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything. It means accepting that your future is shaped by what you choose to do now. It means understanding that your habits, your effort, and your decisions will determine where you end up. This awareness forces you to act with intention instead of drifting without direction. The moment you take responsibility is the moment your life begins to move forward, because you stop waiting for change and start becoming the reason it happens. Lesson 4. Protect your peace. Not everything deserves your reaction. Every time you argue, worry, or overthink something meaningless, you give away energy you will never get back. Your energy is limited, and where you spend it determines how you feel and how you live. When you react to every opinion, every criticism, and every distraction, your mind stays in constant tension. Over time, this drains your focus and weakens your emotional strength. Protecting your peace means becoming more selective. It means understanding that silence is often more powerful than response. You do not need to explain yourself to everyone. You do not need to win every argument. You do not need to prove your worth to people who do not see it. When you stop trying to control how others think, you free your mind from unnecessary pressure. Peace also comes from controlling your environment. What you watch, what you listen to, and who you spend time with all influence your mental state. Constant negativity slowly becomes part of your thinking. But when you choose calm environments and positive influences, your mind becomes clearer and stronger. You begin to think with intention instead of reacting emotionally. Emotional control is a form of power. When you remain calm while others lose control, you protect your clarity. You make better decisions because your mind is not clouded by anger or stress. You move with confidence because you are not constantly shaken by external noise. This stability allows you to stay focused on what truly matters. Protecting your peace does not mean avoiding reality. It means refusing to let unnecessary chaos live inside your mind. It means choosing calmness, choosing distance when needed, and choosing yourself. Over time, this creates a stronger, quieter, and more focused version of you. Lesson 5. Be comfortable being alone. Learning to be alone builds inner strength. When you are always surrounded by noise, people, and constant stimulation, you rarely hear your own thoughts. Being alone gives your mind space to slow down and reset. It allows you to observe your emotions, your goals, and your direction without outside influence. This clarity helps you understand who you really are. Independence grows in solitude. When you stop relying on constant attention or validation, you begin to trust yourself more. You make decisions based on your values instead of trying to please others. Your confidence becomes internal, not dependent on approval. This creates stability, because your self-worth is no longer controlled by external reactions. Solitude also strengthens emotional control. You learn to face boredom, discomfort, and silence without escaping into distractions. This builds mental discipline. Instead of avoiding yourself, you become familiar with yourself. You understand your patterns, your weaknesses, and your strengths. This awareness gives you the power to improve intentionally. Being comfortable alone changes how you connect with others. You no longer seek people to fill emptiness. You choose people because they add value to your life, not because you fear being alone. This leads to healthier relationships built on respect, not dependency. When you are comfortable alone, you carry calmness wherever you go. You are not easily influenced, not easily pressured, and not easily lost. You move with direction because you know yourself. Lesson 6: Accept failure as part of the process. Failure is not something that stops your progress. It is something that shapes it. Every time you try and fail, your mind collects valuable feedback. It shows you the gap between where you are and where you want to be. This awareness is necessary for improvement, because without recognizing weaknesses, nothing can be strengthened. Failure exposes the areas that need more effort, more discipline, and more patience. It becomes a guide that directs your next step. Fear of failure is one of the biggest reasons people remain stuck. When you become afraid of making mistakes, you begin to avoid challenges. You delay action, you hesitate, and you stay in familiar routines. This creates comfort, but it also creates stagnation. Nothing changes because nothing new is attempted. Accepting failure removes this invisible barrier. It allows you to act without constantly worrying about the outcome. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates growth. Failure also strengthens your mental endurance. The first setbacks may feel heavy, but each time you face difficulty and continue forward, your tolerance increases. You stop reacting emotionally to every obstacle. Instead, you begin to see challenges as temporary and manageable. This builds inner stability. You become someone who can continue working even when conditions are not perfect. Another important effect of failure is that it builds independence. You stop relying on perfect timing or perfect conditions. You learn to adjust, adapt, and continue regardless of circumstances. This creates self-trust. You begin to understand that even if things go wrong, you have the ability to recover and try again. This confidence does not come from success alone. It comes from surviving difficulty and continuing anyway. Failure also teaches long-term thinking. It reminds you that meaningful progress is not instant. It is the result of repeated effort over time. Instead of expecting immediate results, you begin to value consistency. You focus on showing up again and again, knowing that each attempt brings improvement, even if it is small. When you accept failure, you stop seeing it as an ending. You start seeing it as part of the path. You stop measuring your life by single outcomes and start measuring it by persistence. The people who grow the most are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who never stop continuing after they do. Lesson 7: Live intentionally, not automatically. Many people move through life without thinking deeply about what they are doing. Their days are filled with routines, distractions, and habits that repeat over and over. They wake up, react to what happens, follow whatever feels easiest, and go to sleep without questioning whether their actions are moving them forward or holding them in the same place. This automatic way of living slowly disconnects a person from their goals, because decisions are made out of habit instead of purpose. Living intentionally means becoming aware of your choices. It means understanding that your time, energy, and attention are limited, and deciding carefully where to invest them. Instead of reacting to everything around you, you begin to act based on what truly matters to you. You stop allowing random distractions to control your direction. You become more selective with what you do, what you focus on, and what you allow into your life. When you live with intention, your actions start to align with your long-term vision. Even small daily decisions begin to carry meaning. You are no longer just passing time. You are using it. This creates a sense of control and clarity. You understand why you are doing what you are doing, and this removes the feeling of being lost or stuck. Intentional living also requires honesty with yourself. It means recognizing when something is wasting your time or weakening your focus. It means being willing to step away from habits, environments, or behaviors that do not support your growth. This awareness protects your mental energy and helps you stay aligned with your priorities. Over time, living intentionally changes your identity. You stop being someone who simply reacts to life, and you become someone who directs it. Your days become more meaningful, your progress becomes more visible, and your life begins to reflect your decisions instead of your circumstances. Lesson 8. Choose your environment carefully. Your environment shapes you more than you realize. The people you see, the conversations you hear, and the behaviors you observe every day slowly become part of your thinking. Humans naturally adapt to what feels normal around them. If certain attitudes, routines, or mindsets are constantly present in your surroundings, your brain begins to accept them without resistance. This process is gradual, but over time it can define the direction of your life. When you spend time in environments where people lack discipline, avoid responsibility, or settle for less, your sense of urgency begins to fade. You may stop challenging yourself, not because you lost your ability, but because there is no pressure to improve. Low standards become comfortable. You begin to accept delays, distractions, and excuses as part of normal life. This slows your growth without you even noticing it. In contrast, being in an environment where people value progress, effort, and self-respect naturally raises your standards. You become more aware of how you use your time. You begin to notice the difference between action and distraction. You feel a quiet motivation to improve yourself, because growth becomes part of the atmosphere around you. You start expecting more from yourself, and that expectation changes your behavior. Your environment is also shaped by what you allow into your mind. The content you consume, the sounds you hear, and the things you repeatedly focus on all influence your mental state. Your brain constantly absorbs information and adjusts your thoughts based on repetition. If you repeatedly expose yourself to distraction, your focus weakens. If you repeatedly expose yourself to meaningful input, your awareness and discipline become stronger. Protecting your environment means protecting your attention, your standards, and your future. It requires awareness and intentional decisions. Not every place, person, or influence deserves equal access to your time and energy. When your environment supports clarity, discipline, and growth, progress becomes easier and more natural. When it does not, even simple improvement can feel difficult. Over time, your environment does not just influence what you do. It influences who you become. Your life is shaped by the lessons you choose to follow and the standards you choose to accept. Every day, you are building your future through your habits, your mindset, and your decisions. Small changes may feel invisible at first, but over time they create a completely different version of you. The key is to stay aware, stay intentional, and never stop improving, even when progress feels slow. There will be days when progress feels slow and invisible. There will be moments of doubt, distraction, and frustration. But growth is not about being perfect. It is about continuing, even when motivation disappears. And if this video gave you a new perspective, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more lessons about life, discipline, and self-growth.